am seriously considering streaming on Kick in some capacity very soon. All right. So you might say, well, why? What's causing this? Why all of a sudden are you thinking about possibly streaming on a different platform than YouTube? Well, there's a couple of reasons. All right. Reason number one is obviously because I've done some work with the guys from Kino Casino, and the Kino Casino guys stream on Kick exclusively, and they in the last month have kind of talked to me about I should basically do some content over there. That Kick is lucrative. That it's a place where if you work there and you're consistent, with some of the work you're doing, there's potential for big earnings, and it's huge earnings compared to any other streaming platform. I'm being told you keep 95% of what you make on Kick as opposed to on YouTube, but you only keep like around 70%. Twitch is even worse. Like, Twitch is literally the worst. At this point, I can't imagine why a single person with a brain in their head would want to be streaming on Twitch, because it just seems to me like a lost cause and a bunch of you're basically paying the wrong people a ton of money to use their site. It doesn't make sense when everyone else is better. So anyway, in regards to Kick, all right, I would make good money if I streamed there and I had a following and they were supportive. I would actually be making more streaming on there than YouTube, because not only is it based on, views, but it's based on how many subs you get, which is how you get support there from your followers. It's subs, people subbing. But it's also, if you get big enough on Kick, you can get into a program, and this takes a while. This is not like a quick thing that's instant, but you can get into a special program where they'll actually pay you to stream. Like, you'll turn on your stream for 2 hours, you'll get paid per hour because you streamed on there. And that's because they're assuming you're making earnings, right? And the earnings are going to even out, based on your performance and stuff. So, that's kind of neat. That's not something that, like, immediately I would get or even really care about. But the fact that there is earnings potential like that long-term is kind of neat. There's nothing like that anywhere else. So that's number one, is earnings potential. I'm being told there's big earnings potential on Kick. And by the way, it's not an oversaturated streaming platform right now. For example, if I were to go over there and do certain things, I may be the biggest person on Kick doing particular things. They don't have a lot of ginormous streamers over there, so they'd be more welcoming to someone like me going over there and making content for them, okay? That's number one, okay? Number two, recently, I've started doing a bunch of content that's different from the norm of the content that I used to do, and the content is working, right? And the content is essentially turning out to be good for me, but the content is so different from the stuff that I used to do that it's not in line with what a lot of my longtime viewers have watched. What I mean by that is streaming WWE champions and or drama content that I've been doing for the last month and a half, right? When I do a podcast here and half the podcast is talking about Review Tech USA or COG or Ethan Ralph or LTG, this is not the kind of stuff that I used to do, correct? And then everyone told me my podcast was boring. So I implemented this new content, and now people are like, why is your podcast all drama? And I'm like, now wait a minute. You told me the podcast was boring. So I changed it up. I'm doing different kinds of content, and now you complain that it changed. And it's like, well, you can't have it both ways, right? You can't. So that's the thing, that basically, the way I see it, if I continue to do this content that's a little different, perhaps it makes sense to do it on a different platform, right? If I'm going to be covering drama and I'm going to be talking about other content creators in a dramatic fashion, a little feuding back and forth and stuff like that, then maybe it makes sense to separate it from my already established content on YouTube, right? And that way it won't hinder the content here, right? For example, the WWE Champion stuff, let's be honest, it's mobile gaming. It's incredibly different from the other kind of gaming content that I do on this channel. I'm spending money to pull in the game, and a lot of people are like uncomfortable with that because they're like, oh, isn't that kind of like gambling? It's not. It's not gambling because it's in-game. It's the same as pulling packs in FIFA or a sports game, right? But I get it. Like, I totally understand that people are like, this is not the kind of content that you were doing. and it's so different. You know what I'm saying? It's jarring to see you do it and stream this just in your normal schedule here. So the thing is, on Kick, that kind of shit is like welcomed. That kind of shit is like bringing more in, right? To see people do games of chance, that's what they want over there. So this champion stream are like a no-brainer to be over there, right? But let's say, for example, that we're in a situation where there's drama going on, and I want to address it, but I know for a fact that if I spend half my podcast talking about it, people are going to get upset with me. They're like, man, no, more drama, more drama. Maybe doing a random night stream every once in a while over on Kick, and a good day, oh, it's a drama stream. I'm going to address this and this and this, and we're going to watch these clips back, and we're going to do this. But it's done on a different platform, right? That way, again, it separates itself from my existing content, so it doesn't feel like I'm hindering what I want to do or the kind of content I want to do here, right? So there you go. And Fed Roger says, political show on Kick. Dude, if I was going to do politics of any capacity, I would not be doing it here on YouTube. I'm just telling you right now, you're not going to see Darkside Phil doing a whole political shtick here on YouTube. I would definitely want to separate that and do that somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? By the way, my bad, because Cabal did a super chat 15 minutes ago, and I didn't read it out because I was doing the schedule. He says, it's a $10 super chat, by the way. Maybe you could take your drama content and interviews over to Kick. They can be uncut and then bring that here edited in line with the terms of service. Well, what I could do is very similar to what I've been doing with the podcast. I could do it. Let's say I do a random night stream, right? And this whole night stream just happens to be about, I don't know, Ethan Ralph, right? We're talking about Ethan Ralph for like an hour. He said something about me. I say something back about him and crap like that. You know what I'm saying? So I do the stream over there on Kick, the live stream. I have interaction with the audience. I take in support. All of that happens live on Kick. But I record it locally, and then I clip out the highlights, and I upload them to the channel in a highlight manner. So you can choose whether or not you want to actually watch it here on YouTube, right? And it's the selected clips that make sense that would fit YouTube. You see? I think that could work pretty well. Excuse me. So, you know, this is what I'm thinking, okay? Now, here's the thing. Everything that I've talked about right now makes sense, right? Making more money when I stream on Kick, because the opportunity is there. I just don't know if it's going to work out or not. And also, the fact that I already have content that would absolutely fit Kick's formula, whether it's the WWE Champions or the drama streams and stuff like that, hangout sessions, right? But there are definitely some negatives. Are you ready for the negatives? Because there are quite a few, I would think. Okay? So, number one, Kick does not allow you to broadcast at high bit rates. Okay? Right now, this stream on YouTube, I am broadcasting at, I want to say 15,000, maybe even higher than that. What's my bit rate right now? Hold on, I'm going to find out. Yeah, I'm broadcasting on YouTube at 15,000 kilobits per second. 15,000, that's incredibly high. All right, it's probably not good enough for a great 4K stream, but it's definitely good enough for, you know, like a standard 1080p stream. That's why I do it at that quality. That's why my streams look so good, because I'm broadcasting at a very big bit rate, okay? On Kick, I'm almost positive, I think the highest they can do is 8,500, all right? So that's what I mean when I say if I'm going to stream on Kick, it has to be a certain kind of content. I don't want to be streaming the hot new release game that you want to see the absolute best quality. The graphics are great. I'm not going to be doing that on Kick. It wouldn't make sense. I'd be hindering the quality of my stream. You see? Like, I'll be honest. For example, the guys at Kino Casino said if you played Street Fighter over here, you would be the biggest Street Fighter player on Kick, hands down. Like, no one's playing Street Fighter on Kick. And I was like, that's true, but man, my stream would look like garbage. I know it would. Like, it would be pixelated. It would look choppy. That was the problem with when I used to do Street Fighter content at the lower bit rate. It just didn't work. It wasn't looking good at all. So honestly, I don't think I would ever want to or be able to do high quality gaming on Kick. I would have to limit it to certain kinds of content. Like me just talking to the camera would be perfect on Kick, right? Or me doing WWE Champions, where who gives a crap about the graphics of the mobile game, right? That would definitely work, you see? But doing all this high quality gaming would not work for Kick because of that big limitation, all right? So that's number one. Number two, this I can't confirm yet because I haven't actually done it yet. I haven't done a stream over there. But everyone keeps telling me the moderation over on Kick is terrible. That the chat gets absolutely out of control. You get people on there with bot accounts and issues, and that it's basically like a big problem. Like the moderation is wildly insufficient to have a stream that's kind of under control. And considering the fact that I am who I am, like I know I'm Darkside Phil, I know that I have a giant group of detractors who follow me no matter where I go, the first thing they're going to try to do is ruin that chat experience. Now, if I'm on a new platform, right, and I'm trying to have great interaction, I'm trying to give shout outs for supporters, how am I going to do that if the chat is completely out of control, right? I don't know. And it's funny because I keep getting mixed signals about it. Some people absolutely say, yeah, it's terrible over there. And then others are like, no, that's not true. It's improved and it's better. One Sick Puppy just said the chat is better on Kick. There's less bots, actually. You see? So, I don't know. Lady Charisma says, from personal experience, I haven't even been in a single Kick chat where someone doesn't call me a slur. I mean, and listen, I get that. Like, it seems like when you have a business where they outright say basically everything goes, that's the kind of element you're going to get. You're going to get way more of those people who want to go and they purposely want to be malicious. They're there for that reason. They're there because they know they can't get away with that kind of behavior elsewhere. So then they all kind of gather at the place where they know that they can get away with that stuff, right? Okay, so continuing the discussion, you know, the other thing that I'm thinking about is like early on when I looked into it, and when you start streaming on Kick, you can't earn anything yet. Okay, you have to stream 5 hours to qualify for the early affiliate program, which means then people can buy subscriptions for your channel. And the thing is, you know, if I'm streaming over there for 5 hours or whatever, I'm not going to get paid for it, right? And that's not a big deal. That would be what, like 2 night streams, right? But I'm wondering, what else can you do? Like, are bots allowed over there? Could I have a Nightbot come over and be able to, like, give links to my content? Like, for example, right now, if I'm streaming on Kick, let's say I was streaming right now on Kick. I couldn't make anything. But I want people to say, hey, if you want to contribute, please tip. Can I even do that on Kick? Is there a way to say, hey, here's the link, tip through that link? Here's my, you know, my PayPal page, or, you know, I don't know how it works. I'd have to kind of like figure all this out, right? By the way, just for the record, I know for a fact that you can set up blocked words and moderation tools on Kick. I was in the dashboard this morning, just looking around briefly to see what was there. And it said right there, you have a whole list of blocked words. So I can make it that people cannot be coming in and saying slurs and things like that. Of course, what could actually happen is people just undermine it anyway by changing the spelling and stuff like that. And that's the kind of stuff that happens everywhere. That happens on YouTube. That happens everywhere, right? There you go.